Good afternoon to one and all. Myself, Dr. Vijaya Nirmala. Today, I am going to discuss about the organization development interventions. So, this topic is there for you in the subject organizational development in fourth unit interventions classification. So, for MBA second year, fourth semester students, you have this subject. And let us see about in detail about organization development intervention. What is an intervention? You're in the previous classes or in the previous sessions, we all well known about what is organization development, what are the foundations of organizational development, what is the diagnostic procedure. Everything we have discussed in our previous sessions, right? And today we are going to discuss about organization development interventions. Organization development interventions are the plans or the programs. So these are being comprised of specific activities which are designed to affect the change in some facet of the organization. It means that these interventions are acts as a building blocks. These act as a building blocks that are being planned activities which are designed to improve the organization's functioning through the participation of the organizational members. Through the participation of the organizational members. It means that there are numerous interventions, and these numerous interventions have been developed over the years. It is not that day and night it has been developed. So these are developed over the years to address different problems or to create various results. So these are defined as a goal of improving the entire organization through a change through a change. So these intervention strategies are generally based on the results of diagnostic process. So regarding the diagnostic process that we have already discussed in the previous session. So uh, these intervention strategies are mainly based on the results of the diagnostic process and the specified goals of the client system. The specified goals of the client system. So, in general, the organizations which are willing to achieve a high degree of organizational change, generally they employ a full range of interventions. So, when which organizations use these interventions? If the organizations are willing to achieve the high degree of organizational change, then they used to employ the full range of these interventions. And also, they used to design to perform, to transform the individual and group behavior. They used to transform the attitudes, they used to transform the individual behavior as well as the group behavior. So mainly these interventions are being targeted towards the operating policies, management structures, workers' skills, as well as the personal policies, as well as the personal policies. So this is about the general introduction of organization development interventions. Where do we use this intervention and how the planned activities are being designed to improve the organizational function. Okay. Now let us see what are the definition of organization development intervention. Let us discuss some definitions set by authors. According to Prasad, organization development interventions refers to an an activity that is being carried on in an organization with the help of internal or external organization development consultant for achieving a given goal or objective. So what he said now, organization development interventions are the activities. So these are being carried out in the organization and it helps to achieve the goals and objectives of the in achieving the goals and objectives of the organization. So it not only it helps internally, but internally as well as externally, it used to help the organizational development consultant to achieve the goals and objectives of the organization. So this is what the author Prasad has said. And there is one more definition said by Rothwell. So what he said is an intervention is a change effort or a change process. It is a change effort or a change entry into an ongoing system, an intentional entry into an ongoing system for the purpose of initiating a change or introducing a change. So that is called as uh, organization development intervention according to Rothwell. So what he is saying, an intervention is a change effort or a change process. So that when there is an ongoing system, the intentional entry into an ongoing system for the purpose of initiating a change or for the purpose of introducing a change. So that is called as organization development intervention. Now let us see one more definition of this intervention. So according to Cummings and Burley, intervention refers to a set of sequenced planned actions, sequenced planned actions or events also. So that are being intended to help an organization increase its effectiveness. To help an organization to increase its effectiveness. It means that the interventions are purposely disrupt the status quotient. The interventions generally, they are purposely disrupt the status quotient so that they are deliberate attempts to change an organization or a subunit towards a different or more effective state. Different or more effective state. That's what this Cummins and Worley have been said. So what is it now? This is a purposely done status quotient and it uses to deliberate the attempts to change an organization. It uses an attempt to change an organization or any subunit towards a different and more effective state. Towards a different and more effective state. Okay. So this is what an introduction of organization development as well as the various definitions said by many authors. Okay. Now let us see what are the various types of organization development interventions. Now you came to know what is interventions, right? And how this organization development interventions are being used in organization. Now let us see what are the various types of organization development interventions. Generally, these interventions typically they mainly addresses only on the problems that are long term in nature. So in the organizations, if they are suffering with some specific problem which is from long run, and this OD interventions usually addresses those problems. For example, if there is a dishonest manager and who needs to be terminated, and it is not an organization development issue. So, unless the organization has a tendency towards poor hiring practice or a broad ethical issues, right? So, if there is a manager, okay, and he is a dishonest person, and you need to terminate it, but it is not an organizational development issue. So when do you do not think it as an organizational issue, that the organization has a tendency that if there is a poor hiring practice, or if the organization is following a broad ethical issues, then you feel that it is not an organizational development issue. So with the problems that are complex and have taken a while to develop the solution, it usually takes a while to implement it. It usually takes a while to implement it. So, organizational development interventions are classified into five types. So, these are classified into five types. One is team interventions, the other one is intergroup interventions, the next one comprehensive interventions, structural interventions, and training experience. And training experience. So these are the various types of organization development interventions. Now let us see in detail about these types of organization development interventions, right? What is the first one? The first one is team intervention. The first one is team intervention. So generally, these interventions, uh, this team interventions plays a very important role in organization development. While the organizational development practitioners, they used to recognize two principles. They used to recognize two principles. The one is, first, the teams are reviewed as the important vehicles which help the people to satisfy the important needs. And the second one is, it is believed that the improved collaboration within and among the teams can also improve the organizational performance. So, generally, these interventions are being designed to help the teams and groups within the organization which become more effective, to become more effective. So, thus, it means that these team interventions have a tendency to be congruent with the characteristics of a team, and in which the intervention is to be applied in that team, is to be applied in that team. So this team intervention assumes that the most effective groups will communicate well, and they facilitate a healthy balance between both the personal needs and group needs. So what they used to think is, they facilitate a healthy balance between the individual needs and group needs. So here, when you are discussing with this team interventions, you will come up with a team building. You will come up with a team building. So what is a team building? A team building is a very popular organizational development method. So it is the catch-all term for the whole host of techniques which are aimed at improving the internal functioning of the work group. So in the organization, what are the work groups, how they are working on, and what are the functionality of the internal work groups. So to improve those functionality which has been introduced. So whether conducted by company trainers, or whether it may be conducted through outside consultants There are the team building workshops which strive for greater competition, which they used to strive for greater competition, which they used to strive for better communication, which they used to strive for less dysfunctional conflict, less dysfunctional conflict, right? So while we are discussing about this team building, let us see some definition of what is a team building. A team building is defined as the process of planning and encouraging the working practices. Process of planning and encouraging the working practices that are effective and used to minimize the difficulties that obstruct the team's competencies as well as the resourcefulness. In simple terms, it is a process of gathering a group of individuals. Team building is a process of gathering a group of individuals with the with different skills, and making them work together as a group, making them work together as a group. So that is called as team building. So while using this process and solving the challenges, the group learns how to share the ideas, how to praise and encourage one another. So how to support, not only that, it also tells how to support one another physically and emotionally, and how to start becoming a team. So now let us see what is the purpose, or what is the process of team building. So what is the main process? Why we need to have this team building that we have seen now, and let us see how this team building will be proceeded. So this is the process of team building. The team building proceeds in this particular way. One is one is problem sensing. The other one is examining the perceptual differences, giving and receiving feedback, developing interactive skills, follow-up action. Follow-up action. So this is the process of team building. Now let us see in detail about the process of team building. The one is problem sensing. So this is the first stage, and in this stage, generally, most of the members, they used to come forward with different arguments. Why? Because you ask what you do not know what the real problem is. What the real problem is, and so you all come with various arguments. So the view, this may be very quite different, ranging from the organizational problems, group problems, and even personal problems. So in this problem identification, the emphasis should be on consensus. The emphasis should be on consensus. So what is the meaning of consensus, ma? Consensus in the sense all the people should come to a single conclusion. Single conclusion. So single point everybody should come to that. So the consensus they used to see part of the process which necessitates that each person should become thoroughly aware of the concept, and he has to clearly understand the basic concepts of the team development. So much of the problems may be solved only through effective communication and various training sessions. So that is about the first step in the process of team building, which is called problem sensing. And the next one is examining perceptual differences. The perception of people on an issue differs because of their different backgrounds. You know, each and every person will be having their own perceptions, right? So the perception used to differ. Why? Because their backgrounds are different. It means that the frame of references, the way they live, the way of lifestyle will be different, right? So at that time, the value system, based on the value system, based on the personalities, and based on the attitudes, all these comes under frame of preferences. So all these differ. So the perception may be brought to the conformity through the process of when you go on coming up with uh, exercising on perception, and you will be having a number of you will be working out with a number of psychological exercises, so that you will be having a particular perpetual differences that you will come up with. So the role of communication is very important in this context. Why? Because it also helps us in classifying the problems, in classifying what are the actual problems to the members. That will be, so you need to identify the perceptual differences. It varies from one to the other. And the next one, giving and receiving the feedback. The step of perceiving the things and listening to each other may be relayed back to the members. Why? Because there is a possibility that such processes may create a tense situation. That processes may create a tense situation in the group. Often the members, they used to report a painful feelings that they have at the time of evaluation of their feelings. So when you are trying to evaluate regarding the feelings of the team members, then they used to have a painful situation. So the discussion should continue until all the members of the team have commented. So it is not that only one person in the team leads the entire team. So all the members must be commented, and all the members should come to a single consensus. So the feedback should be given to the members about their feelings, about the issue, and also about the way the people talk about the issue, about the way that the people talk about the issue. So these are some of the examples. So such feedback is necessary. So this feedback generally provides the members to evaluate the values, but at the same time, it also provides opportunities to understand themselves, to understand themselves. So that is about the third. Next one, developing interactive skills. So the basic objective of this process is to increase the ability among the people as to how they should interact with others and how they should engage in constructive and negative behaviors. Constructive and negative behaviors. Here you are coming with the two things: constructive behavior and negative behavior. What is constructive behavior? Constructive behavior includes building. So developing, it used to have developing and expanding the ideas of others. Here they used to construct that if, for example, in a team, one member is having an idea, rather than you are building, you are developing the other idea. That is, you are expanding the ideas of others. So that is called constructive behavior. And you are encouraging others to participate. you would encourage or harmonize others to participate. And also you resting, ensuring, and clarifying the relevant information that you use to clarify. For example, if any person is in a doubt, or if the person is not in a position to understand, then you need to clarify the information. You need to seek some relevant information, understand it, and you need to ensure it. And the last one is innovating. So bringing up a new relevant idea, bringing up a new information, a new feeling, etc. So these are called the constructive behavior under developing interactive skills. So when you are interacting, you would be having the behavior of constructive behavior, and you all some will be having a negative behavior in the sense over talking. That is, when the person is telling some idea, you used to interpret him or talk together with the speaker. Some what they used to do, one while one speaker is talking, he also talks along with the speaker. And other one is attacking. That is criticizing the person in a team, or belittling or deriding. So you used to attack him, that whatever the person used to say, for each and everything you used to comment that person. You used to criticize that person. That is negative. And the other one is negative. Negative in the sense you undermine yourself. It is schooling, cynicism. So these are some of the mores, undermining mores. So all these will be there in negative behavior. So if this process is being adapted several times, then you will develop a strong possibility. Otherwise, you will develop a strong possibility that the people will come to know what is how the constructive behavior has to be developed, and how we should leave the negative behavior. So that is very helpful, and it is helpful in developing a teamwork. So what you need to develop the constructive behavior, and you need to leave the negative behavior. You need to leave the negative behavior. Okay? And the last one is process of action. So, the last one is follow up action. This is the final stage in the team development. And at this stage, the total team is converted to review that what has been learned, and to identify what is the next step should be there. What is the next step should be there. So in this follow-up action, this step, it helps in overcoming the drawbacks in the group, at the drawbacks which are being identified in the initial stage. In the initial stage of time building, whatever the drawbacks that you have identified, those will be overcome in this last stage. So it involves deciding who will take care of each area, and what is the responsibility of a team, and who is responsible for the team project in a group, and that has not developed a satisfactory division of responsibility. Division of responsibility. They used to clarify, and they used to settle various differences, uh, and they used to change their perceptual concerns. They used to change their perceptual concerns, and each person in a group, in a team, they used to be more responsibility and authority among the members. So they used to attempt, and they used to bring a cooperative and supportive feelings among the people which are involved in the team functioning. They are involved in team functioning. So when this exercise is undertaken at the initial stage, it contributes positively towards the feelings of the people. So, however, you need to encourage and sustain such feelings The management should take such actions at regular intervals so that the members feel reinforced and sustain their positive behavior. Sustain their positive behavior. So this is about the process of team building, which is there in several steps. Okay. Now let us see in detail about intergroup intervention. Yeah, this is about the team building. Huh? In the next session, we used to discuss about the another type of organizational development. Now we are discussing about the types. In that types we have five. Already we have discussed one, and the remaining we used to discuss in the next session. Okay. With this, we will conclude the session now. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, one.